How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing today? Man, I wasn't abreast of anything that had to do with anything. Um, I got so much to tell you guys, but first, I just want to say that God is great, and I just want to thank Him. I want to thank Him for so many different things. I want to thank Him for life, strength, and health. I want to thank Him for the fact that He keeps us and sustains us. And so I just want to thank Him for the opportunity to be able to share, whether it's passion or whatever, with you guys and spread some love. I want to start off first before I get into what we're going to talk about today. You guys can always comment in the chat section. You can leave your comments in the chat section right over here. Um, Before I discuss what we're going to talk about today, I'd like to read a piece of scripture for you guys. I'd like to read a piece of scripture for you guys. I always like to start off the day with a piece of scripture. But before I do, let me just take a moment to go see uh, my brother's mother-in-law. I want to just leave this book with her. This book is called Better Sight. Better Sight Without Glasses. It's by Harry Benjamin. You can go ahead and check this out online. I don't use any glasses anymore. My eyes are getting better. And in fact, glasses is a short-term solution to your eye problems, but it actually leads to the degradation of your eyes. And there's a long story behind it. If you guys are wearing glasses or any kind of additional eyewear, I would suggest very strongly go look at this book online. If you want to, I can share a couple pages with it. Let me just tell you what this book is about before I get into the boxing, because I know you guys are interested in what I have to say about the boxing. But this book tells us how the eye works. Okay, and a lot of you guys think you know how an eye works, but it's a lot more interesting and complex than you think. Let me just turn on this light. Oh, the light is on. Okay, I didn't know that. It's kind of dark in here. I'm sorry about that, guys. Um, but this is a great book. Why spectacles are harmful, or glasses. The causes of defective vision, treatment of defective vision, aids to relaxation, aids to vision, eye muscle and neck exercises, diet, how to carry out treatment, cause of eye disease, treatment of cataract, conjunctivitis, glaucoma, iritis, keratitis, and ulcers. Okay, and you have a test chart at the end of the book. I'm just gonna get this off to my my brother's wife's mother right now. I'm coming right back to you guys in a second. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna take a moment to drink a little bit of water. I'm coming right back to you guys. Peace to you guys. I got a testimony for you guys. You're gonna love it. So hang in a second. Okay. So my room's a little bit messy. You're gonna have to excuse me. There's so much I want to talk to you guys about. And you know, boxing is so much like life. Anyway, I want to start off with Psalms chapter 9. I'm going to read a few verses. If you're in the chat section, just leave your comments in the chat section. We're going to talk about boxing. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm not going to waste your time on meaningless things. Everything I'm saying to you guys is meaningful. So hang on to your horses. You can start drumming up your chats in the chat section. You can just start discussing the topics at hand. First, the scripture. Psalms chapter 9 says, I will praise you, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all your marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. When my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at your presence. You have maintained my right and my cause. You sat in the throne judging right. I want to stop right there. So I got a little testimony for you guys. About 2 weeks ago, a little bit more than 2 weeks ago, my mother came back from chemotherapy, the strongest kind of chemo. And chemotherapy is like boxing. If you're not built up and ready for that fight, it could kill you. Boxing is something you don't take lightly. You cheat on anything and you could die in that ring. It could be your last day. And she had chemo, really the most extreme form of chemo you could ever possibly have. She returned on Wednesday, was discharged on Wednesday of 2 weeks ago, a little bit more than 2 weeks ago. And she was fading on us. Saturday it came to her head. She fell and busted her head, and there was blood everywhere. And she was dying on us. And we called out in the name of the Lord, man. And the Lord heard us and brought her back. She ended up in the hospital after a grand mal seizure. And she wasn't conscious, really. She wasn't talking much. And God brought her back, man. The testimony is huge because she wasn't eating at a certain point in time, and she started back eating, and her pressure started going down, and her sugar started coming down. And it took a while, about 24 to 48 hours, but she got back conscious and she could reason. And she told us she didn't remember anything from since the Wednesday when she came out of the chemo. I say all this to say to you guys that my mom's recovering, and God looks like he's going to heal her completely. And I just want to say to you guys that, you know, that's why you guys haven't heard from me for a while, because I've been, you know, wrapped up in that issue, that God is awesome. And as the scripture says, I will praise you with my entire heart, with my whole soul, with my whole life. And the testimony, her testimony is beautiful because God has her alive for a reason, man. God has you and me alive for a reason. And I just, you know, my little testimonies, it actually encouraged me to get back into medicine and really make a difference. You know, when I realized healthcare, the natural way of doing things, as well as the allopathic way of doing things, there's a combination, a fusion of both that is necessary. You know, I've spoken to some really spiritual people, and it's all about the mind first, the spirit of a person, and then their body to get complete healing. And you have to appeal to both. And I'm growing as a person. You know, I was supposed to be in healthcare. I'm growing as a person. I just wanted you guys to know that God is interested in every aspect of your life, and he's willing to heal you and restore you to a better you every single day. So I wanted to share that with you guys before I got into the boxing aspect of what we're going to talk about. And I want you to remember that the fundamental purpose of this channel, besides you being healthier, is mentally also for you to become a better person. And, you know, whether we box or we fight in the ring, it's typical of life. Your enemies may be your flaws, and you're wrestling with them. And I've learned now to trust in God and be a spectator, watching how this thing will pan out, because I don't know what exactly would pan out. And sometimes God tells me, you know, tell you or me exactly what would happen. Like, I know my mom's going to be healed because that's what God told me. But it's still, at the same time, you still got to watch in between to see how it pans out. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. You know, think about your surname, what your name is, find out the meaning of it, and see what God's purpose for you is. Find out what your name is. Find out why you have a home and a house. You know, I love things, certain things about boxing. I like boxers. I like is their generosity because they punish people and they do assault for a living on the back. They tend to be much more compassionate about other people and about other boxers because you've been beating up people for a living. So you don't really have that mean streak to hate people. You know, you may have a mean streak in you, but you would not to hate people. And I'm going to just say to you guys, we are put on this planet to help one another. And you guys may be different religions, different backgrounds, you may like different things. But at the end of the day, we're here to help one another. So I just wanted to share that with you. Let's respect one another, but at the same time, help one another where we can. And don't ever give up doing good. You may feel discouraged at times, but don't give up. Keep on doing good. I'm learning that it's not about me in life. It's about you guys. It's about people benefiting. It's about God. So I just wanted to share that with you guys before I get into the boxing. I want to give God glory in everything I do. So how I approach this should be interesting. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat section. First of all, if you have any comments you want to leave in the chat section, but check the chat section right now to see what you guys are saying. And nobody said anything in the chat section so far. That's interesting. All right, cool. One person liked my chat section. That's cool. All right, so let's get to it. Canelo versus GGG, Porter versus Garcia. I watched the two fights just today. I didn't watch it at the time when they came out. I just watched it today. I thought that in the fight between Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, I thought Porter won that fight. I thought that Porter was the aggressor. He was bullying Garcia around the ring. Don't get it twisted. Garcia was landing some really nice counter punch shots, and he had some good pop and good power in his shots. But I never saw him at any stage hurt really Sean Porter. I did see Sean Porter get hurt a couple times, but not to the significant degree that Sean Porter was able to hurt Danny Garcia and drive him backwards. Effective aggression is when you can land a shot on your opponent, drive him back, and not only drive him back, but also land a couple more shots. And as much as the commentators were not giving Porter credit for certain body shots that he was landing, Porter was able to land body shots. And the thing that Porter was doing in these fights that made him so interesting was that he was counterpunching the counterpuncher. He was causing the counterpuncher to, he was drawing the counterpuncher in, and then he would use his athleticism to basically launch in, or to use leaping left hooks and leaping shots, leaping jabs, leaping left hooks, leaping double jabs, leaping lead rights. He would leap in and land these shots on Danny Garcia, catch him off balance. And then he would just start landing body shots. He would turn, he could spin around Danny Garcia and then start to bang on him in the ropes. But Danny Garcia also had equal skill and ability and ability to evade Sean Porter and get back to the center of the ring. And one of the things we underestimate of Danny Garcia, he's a very solid guy. He can take a shot, and he has pretty solid defense. So Porter was not able to penetrate his defense as easily as you think. So these were some high-level chess match boxing that was going on. Similarly with Canelo and Triple G. But just like Porter versus Garcia, I thought that Canelo also won the fight against Triple G because, once again, not only was Canelo an effective aggressor, pushing Triple G back because he landed shots on Triple G, pushing him back. You don't push Triple G back any other way unless you land some really good body shots. And Canelo was landing some really nasty body shots on Triple G, who sucked it up, but was being pushed back. And so Triple G ended up having to box Canelo. And his boxing wasn't sufficient because Canelo was still beating him up. And I disagree with all those people who said the 12th round went to Triple G. I don't see how that could have happened. Canelo landed the last shot in that round. He was pushing Triple G back to the ropes. There was a moment Triple G was pushing Canelo back for a moment. Canelo turned that around. It wasn't having it. Canelo wasn't having that. He wasn't even taking a step back. Canelo was blocking a lot of the shots, a lot of very good defense by Canelo. Triple G had some pretty decent defense himself and was playing a tactical chess match. But I have to tell you right now, if you look at Triple G's face, it tells you all the story you need to know. But Canelo was literally beating up Triple G. There was a time when Canelo was just beating Triple G all the way around the ring. It wasn't like Triple G, he was missing Triple G. Now, Triple G did have some decent defense, and Canelo was missing some of his shots, looked very wild with some of his shots. But for the most part, Canelo's the one doing the majority of the body work on Triple G. And Triple G did try to land some body work in Canelo. Canelo did fade in the 10th round. I thought Triple G got the 10th round. But then I thought Canelo ended the 12th. Canelo got the 12th round, in my opinion. The 11th round, you could give it to either guy. I didn't really care. But the 12th round really mattered. I think Canelo won the 11th as well. And Triple G really tried to make a surge to create his dominance to show he could push Canelo back, and he never was able to do that. Canelo was the guy walking him down the entire fight. People talk about Triple G's jab. Again, I don't think his jab was very effective. Effective jab, Triple G, when he uses an effective jab, will push you back. And he wasn't pushing Canelo back with the jab. Okay? When Canelo used his jab against Triple G, okay, even if Triple G didn't push Canelo back with the jab, at least he should have been able to make him pause or make him reset. That jab was not making Canelo reset, because Canelo would counter Triple G right after the jab. Canelo would get his shot in on the jab. So I don't think that Triple G was very effective with his jab. He was landing some jabs, but most of the jabs that Triple G shot out were blocked. And in fact, Canelo was more effective with his jab. And this is the reason why I said Canelo's jab was more effective. You have to understand Triple G is the taller guy. He's the guy with the longer reach. That's what everybody's forgetting. He has all the attributes. He's supposed to be the guy with more power. All right. So why is it that Triple G, with a longer reach, taller guy, more power, was being pushed back by Canelo? He got a couple combinations in on Canelo. Most of them were blocked, but nonetheless, he got some in. But Canelo was pushing him systematically back with his jab, by the way. So I don't agree that Triple G had the more effective jab. And maybe he had a couple touch jabs on Canelo's forehead and stuff like that. He was not the more effective fighter in this whole fight. And I don't care what the punch stats say. Canelo was pushing him back. Canelo was beating him up. That's why his face looked like that. Canelo's face didn't look like that when he faced Triple G. He had no marks on his face. In the first fight, Triple G had the swollen up face. Canelo didn't have a swollen up face in the first fight. And in the second fight, Canelo's face looked like a baby, and Triple G's face looks like he went through a grinder mill. So anybody saying that Triple G won that fight, I don't know what's wrong with them. You know, unanimous decision to Canelo. I don't even know why 114 is even in the equation. This is a second fight where Canelo absolutely won this fight. And that's why a lot of people are saying it. And I watched the fight without the sound, without the commenters. It's on YouTube. And Canelo resoundingly won that fight. He definitely took the earlier rounds, but he also took the later rounds and the middle rounds. And I only saw one round in which Triple G won. I thought that was round number 9 or round number 10. I can't remember which one it was, in which I gave it to him. I really did give it to him because he did put some combinations together and he did land better shots. Canelo was taking the rest in that round. But that was it. Yes, Canelo was a little less sharp, or at least looked that way until he started landing combinations. Then you realize, oh, he just setting them Triple G up and he just loose. So, no, a lot of body shots by Canelo. Just stood right in front of Triple G, was going nowhere. Canelo slipped one time when he was throwing a combination at Triple G. But other than that, that's about it. I mean, Canelo pretty much, and Triple G showed it at the end of the fight. Triple G wasn't raising his hands in the 11th round. At the end of the 11th round, Canelo raised his hand. Triple G didn't raise his hand. Why didn't he raise it? Why didn't Triple G raise his hand? Going into the 12th, Canelo knew he had it in the bag. He was just shaking Triple G's hands, and not one moment Triple G could push him back. I think he pushed him back once on the ropes. I think it was in the end of the 11th or the 12th. That was it. So Canelo's supposedly the smaller guy. He's supposedly the guy with the shorter reach. How is he getting this jab in on a guy who's supposed to have longer reach? Supposedly has a better jab. And I'm not saying Triple G didn't land his jab. He landed it a couple times and really effectively, but it wasn't enough. He was on the back foot the entire fight. He was trying to be on the front foot. He tried to bully Canelo. It didn't work. And so I think the guy with the more effective strategy was Canelo, and he proved it. And he was trying to knock out Triple G. He didn't knock him out, but he tried to get him. And I think the guy who punished the other fighter more was Canelo. He punished him for 12 rounds, and it shows on Triple G's body. So anybody saying Triple G won that fight, you just biased. Because it's like, unless Canelo knocked out Triple G, you wasn't going to give it to Canelo, all right? And so that's most of the people. I was watching interviews. I was listening to Paulie Malignaggi with his nonsense again, saying, show me how many rounds Canelo, show me more than 5 rounds which Canelo won. Well, That's easy. I can just go rounds 1 to 7. How's that? That's more than 5 rounds. At the 7th round, Canelo already had the fight in the bag. I'm not saying he swept all of the first 7, but most of the first 7 he took. So, and then 8th, 9th, I think Triple G got the 9th or the 10th. I can't remember which one it was. He finished, and Canelo closed out with the 12th. So there's no way you're telling me that's more than 5 rounds anyway. All right. So I just don't understand what people could say that Triple G won this fight. I just don't understand. You have to be very, very biased. When were you ran for Triple G in that whole entire fight? When? When did he land anything effective? This is the same thing like the first fight. They're talking about jabs. So you're going to go back to jabs? You couldn't hooray. Triple G never landed a combination. I remember him landing a couple of combinations on Canelo, and Canelo just came back and responded with his combinations. So I don't really know where you going to give Triple G that fight and talk about he outboxed Canelo. He did not outbox Canelo. Okay. He didn't. I looked at the highlight. I look at the biasness of the highlight when they would go back to the highlight reels at the end of each round, highlighting what Triple G did. I thought it was so biased. It was so one-sided. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way how it is. They wanted to promote Triple G, but the judges saw it a different way. Now, one judge had it 114, 114. I don't know how that judge got that. I don't know. I don't know what they were watching. What was their criteria? You know, Paulie and I was just saying the judges were changing the criteria each round. I don't know what they're talking about, because Canelo did the same thing every single round. Yet he made minor adjustments to Triple G, but he walked Triple G down. He was walking Triple G, and he wasn't missing. He was landing. There's the difference between what Triple G did with Canelo and what Canelo did with Triple G. It's called effective aggression. And I told y'all Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev would have been what we would see with Canelo versus Triple G. Body shot, body shot, body shot. Okay? And he walked him down. He landed to the body and some hellacious shots to the body. That's why Triple G backed off and he started to try to box. And he grabbed Canelo. For most of the night, Canelo was trying to break free from him. He even complained to the referee that this guy's clinching too much. Because Canelo was just wanting to land because he knew he could break him down. All right. And that's what I saw. I don't know about other people, but that's what I just saw. I mean, this is not rocket science. I mean, you know, let me see what you guys are saying in the group chat, first of all. Okay. So we got some people here. Tommy Temper. He's back doing boxing. Shout out to you, Tommy Temper. Thank you for the donation you gave to my channel a while back. Shout out to you, brother. AJ ATX. Canelo won 10 rounds. You might be right, bro, because I actually only saw Triple G win. I think it was 1 round I gave him, which was, I can't remember if it was round 10 or round 9. I gave him that round. I said, yeah, he really did. He did win that round. I didn't see no other round he won, to be honest with you. You know, but people are so biased now. I mean, I don't know, man. Tommy Temper said, I haven't watched the fight yet. Go ahead and check it out. AJ ATX says 115, 113 was too close to score it from both judges. You know, there was a bias towards Triple G, I believe. Everybody was, you know. Tommy Temper said Richard Dyer had GGG winning this. I don't know what Richard Dyer was watching. I mean, honestly, I don't know what these guys are watching, right? Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia. He beat Danny Garcia, okay? It was Sean Porter's fight we were watching. Canelo Alvarez beat GGG. It was Canelo Alvarez's fight. The typical Canelo Alvarez walking you down, beating you up is what we saw. And he literally beat Triple G up. Do you guys want to see what Triple G's face looked like at the end of the fight? Let's look at it. Let's look at it, man. Because, I mean, I don't know what to say to you guys, man. I want you to see this because some things just don't make no sense to me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You guys tell me, man. You guys tell me. You guys tell me. Look at this. Look at this. Look, this dude wearing shades at the end of the fight because he got his both eyes busted up, right? That's Triple G at the end of the fight with Canelo Alvarez. Okay? All right? This is Canelo at the end of the fight. Let's see if I can find Canelo here. He got beaten up real bad, man. He got beaten up real bad. Canelo ain't got no shades on. The Triple G have shades on here. See that? Floyd Mayweather Sr. said Canelo won that fight, and he did. Straight up won the fight. Hold on, let me show you Canelo's face at the end of the fight, because I feel I don't understand what happened. Look at Triple G's face here. Look at all the blood on his face, man. That's from a punch, folks. He got beat up bad. Here's Canelo right here. This is the post fight here. Look at his face. He got a little mark there from a headbutt. That's Canelo's face. He ain't wearing no shades. You know what I'm saying? That's just a face test. Okay. But my point being, I mean, you really have to be biased to think that Triple G won this fight. I don't understand. And you know, Canelo messed up Triple G's face before that. In the first fight, he messed up his face. Okay. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what people be watching, man. They do be in their own world these days, you know. Tommy Temper says younger, more technical fighter. No, it's not that he's younger, man. Yo, y'all don't understand, right? Triple G is basic, okay? Canelo has faced the best in the world. He's faced a Floyd Mayweather. He's faced, you know, the best in the world. You have to understand, what Canelo has is skills beyond Triple G. Triple G's a good, solid fighter, got some good power and stuff. But he's not in Canelo's league. That's why Canelo could move up in weight class, face him while he didn't even have the middleweight strength and power yet. Now that he's stronger and he walks Triple G down. Triple G ain't walking Canelo down no more. Canelo walking Triple G down. All right. He wanted to stop Triple G, but Triple G's tough, and he knew how to survive. He knew how to clinch when he needed to clinch, and you know, he knew how to sort of move around. He was trying to copy Canelo's style at a certain point. He couldn't stand toe-to-toe with Canelo. Can't stand toe-to-toe with him because Canelo places his punches specific places. He sets up his shots a certain way, and he has defense a certain way. Canelo wasn't concerned about what GGG would send to him because Canelo has a defense. GGG don't have that kind of defense, but he has a good, solid defense. Don't get me wrong. All right. But he ain't got that kind of defense. So he walked into some shots. Canelo would make GGG throw certain shots, even make GGG land certain shots to get his counter in. He'll land his counters in. And you're talking counter combinations to the solar plexus, to the spleen area, you know, to the liver area, you know what I'm saying, to the kidney area. You know, that's the kind of stuff. He broke down Triple G. Triple G sucked it up and he nodded his head and he said, come on, bring it. That was, I think, in the 11th round. And Canelo brought it and he backed up again. He was trying to establish himself in the center of the ring and push Canelo back. He couldn't do it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those of you who know boxing know what I'm talking about. People say GGG was moving forward, but when he backed up the whole time, he backed up the entire fight. He could not stand toe-to-toe with Canelo, and he knew that. And Canelo was cramping him for space. Canelo knew the range at which he fights. And he knew that in an inside fight battle, GGG was no match for him. And Canelo has shorter arms than Triple G, so he knew he had to get to the inside. Just like Sean Porter against Danny Garcia, he understood the range he had to be in. On an inside fight, Sean Porter wins that fight every single time. He bullied Danny Garcia to the ropes when he could. And again, sharper, quicker than Danny Garcia, so that makes sense, right? And Sean Porter used what we call the double jab, a leaping double jab. He's coming leaping in, but off the jab. So you can't catch him like that. You know what I'm saying? He come off the jab. He set it up. He set up a double jab to the head, or sometimes he leap in with a jab to the solar plexus, or the lower part of the abdomen. So, you know, these kind of tricks, Canelo also set that up too. And Canelo doesn't do what Sean Porter does, but the point is Canelo is such a skilled boxer. You saw GGG throw a combination at every single shot missed. And the crowd was going berserk that GGG was fighting, but he wasn't doing nothing to Canelo. And then Canelo comes back and just lands combinations on him after he expended energy. Canelo wanted to stop him. Didn't get to stop him, but he wanted to stop him. You know what I'm saying? Nicholas Mapp says, what's up, what you need? What do you think about Floyd making a comeback? Forget Floyd. Floyd is yesterday's news, okay? I don't want to hear nothing about Floyd now. Floyd's an old man. He'd be stupid to make a comeback. Floyd right now against Canelo or any other person, right now, the Floyd we know now against Canelo will mop the floor with Floyd, okay? Because he's not been boxing. He's an old guy now. He's 40-something years. He's almost 41, if he's not 41 already. It doesn't make no sense for Floyd to come back. That's stupid. That's like saying that Michael Jordan should make a comeback in the NBA. That's a dumb thing to do. I just think. But I believe that Canelo beat uh, Gennady Golovkin, and I believe Porter beat Garcia. And I think the way how Porter approached Garcia was he was able to counter the counterpuncher, and he seems as though he likes doing that. He goaded him into the corner, and then he would come in with his leaping shots, or he would allow you to set off your jab and counter it. He sometimes counter over the top of Garcia's jab. He tried to land some body shots. Now he got caught a couple times, really flush. But Garcia learned very quickly that Porter is not fazed by that. His physique is very, very good. Okay, he's very physically fit. So that's the thing with Sean Porter. That's what his advantage is. He was a bigger guy that came down to this weight class, and he really is disciplined. So he can take the shots the smaller guys can hit him with. So Errol Spence right now thinks Sean Porter is going to be a pushover, and he's going to learn very quickly. Sean Porter ain't no pushover, okay? There's a reason he's WBC champion, okay? And you have to box Sean Porter to beat him. And it's not going to be easy now. This is a Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. Well, the British guy, he's gone. He's moved up to super welter now. So he's moved on. But you also have Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. You have to pay attention to Thurman. There was four of them. It was Timothy Bradley, but Timothy Bradley's gone. Now it's Errol Spence. So Errol Spence is there. And Danny Garcia holds his own, man. I don't think Errol Spence mows over Danny Garcia either. I don't think so. Garcia's got that grit. He's not gonna go quietly into the night. Okay. So those are the guys we're looking at now. Thurman, if Thurman comes back. Spence. Everybody's talking about Spence is the best. We also got this new guy in the mix, but I don't know if they'll let him mix in. What's his name? He's with Top Rank. You guys tell me what the guy's name is. He's from Top Rank. You guys know what I'm talking about. For the life of me, I just can't remember his name right now. But he's in welterweight now. So we got all those guys. The WBO champion. What's the WBO champion's name? You guys know who the WBO champion is. I just can't remember his name for nothing. They think he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. You guys know what I'm talking about. But we got Errol Spence up there. He's a big, powerful welterweight, right? She should probably be a super welterweight or a middleweight. Then you got Sean Porter, he came down from middleweight. I think he even came down from super middleweight to be a welterweight. So that's interesting. And you got Thurman, who's a genuine welterweight or super welterweight. Then you have I just can't remember. Terrence Crawford, that's the guy I'm talking about. Terrence Crawford, he's a welterweight, but he's pretty big. He can be a super welterweight. And then you have Mikey Garcia, who's thinking of coming up to welterweight, and you also have Adrian Broner there. But I don't consider Adrian Broner one. I don't consider Mikey Garcia right now. You got Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, and Keith Thurman. And Danny Garcia would he would hang with any of them. He shows that he He's strong. He could take a punch. Keith Thurman hit him flush, and he stood up. Okay. Errol Spence will try to break him down. He'll find out that it's not easy to break down Danny Garcia because he's got pretty decent defense. And you could get to him, but it's not that easy. You know what I'm saying? Nicholas Map says, Terrence Crawford is the most dynamic fighter at welterweight. I wouldn't bet against him. You can't say he's the most dynamic fighter at welterweight, man. Who Terrence Crawford has fought at welterweight? Who's he fought at welterweight? Okay. Danny Garcia has fought better competition than Terrence Crawford has fought. So you can't say he's the most dynamic fighter. You got to look at the level of competition he faced. Danny Garcia has fought world champions at welterweight. He's fought Lamont Peterson. He's fought Keith Thurman. And now he's fought Sean Porter. Who's Terrence Crawford fought? Nicholas Mapp. Who's he fought? I mean, you got to ask yourself that question. This new guy, what was the WBO champion, former WBO champion who beat Manny Pacquiao? That's the dude. Who's he? Who's he fought? I mean, Pacquiao, great, but who's he fought? You know what I'm saying? And you look at Errol Spence. Errol Spence has fought Lamont Peterson, knocked him out. He fought that British kid, knocked him out. You know, you look at the competition. You got to look at the level of competition. Keith Thurman, he's fought Robert Guerrero. You know, he's fought. I think he knocked him down. Keith Thurman's fought Danny Garcia. Keith Thurman has fought who else? I don't know. But my point being, these guys have fought people, you know, like the best, not just a guy holding a title, but the best in their division. So you have to ask yourself, Terrence Crawford, he got to mix in with those guys to really even get a reputation to talk about most dynamic fighter. Okay. Yeah, he knocked out Jeff Horn, but who's Jeff Horn? Nobody knows Jeff Horn. You know what I mean? Like, who's that dude? What's his rep? You know, he beat Manny Pacquiao. Great. What else did he do? Nothing. Right. So, you know, when you talk about guys like Lamont Peterson, who's been like super lightweight champion for so long, IBF super light, you know, face guys like Amir Khan, and you know, you just named them, he's fought them, you know, just names, you know what I mean? You talk about Danny Garcia, that's a name, you know, he's made his name at super lightweight, you know, came up to welterweight, made his name at welterweight, faced the very best at welterweight. You know, you talk about these guys, you know, Terrence Crawford, what has he done at, you know, at welterweight? Who's he fought at welterweight that has a reputation? Nobody. You see what I'm saying? So you can't say he's the most dynamic fighter if he fought nobody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no disrespect to him. He's got a lot of skill and everything, but he hasn't proven himself. He hasn't fought one of them big boys. You know what I'm saying? All right, you know, Jeff Horn's cool, but he ain't one of those big boys. He's, you know, he's a B-level fighter. You know what I mean? We talking about A-level fighters now. You're talking about like Danny Garcia. You're talking about like Keith Thurman. You know, talking about like Sean Porter. I'd love to see Terrence Crawford face Sean Porter. I would love to see what would happen. But he ain't gonna knock out Sean Porter. I'm just telling you that now. He gonna have to try and outbox him. I would love to see how that would turn out. You know. So I'm just saying, Sean Porter is not no joke. Okay, he's not a joke. So I'm just saying, you know, I would love to see Terrence Crawford face say Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia was a super lightweight for a while. Terrence Crawford came and became, you know, the undisputed super lightweight champion. You know, didn't fight nobody, a big reputation like Danny Garcia did, but you know, he fought, he became undisputed. You can't deny him that. I would love to see those two go toe to toe. You know, Danny Garcia, Terrence Crawford. Danny Garcia ain't going nowhere. So Terrence Crawford gonna have him there right in front of him. So what are you going to do, Terrence Crawford? You know, you might run to try to outbox him, but just remember he can cut off the ring on you. You know, you might want to go southpaw and fight him southpaw. You know, I would love to see what would happen in that fight because you know Danny Garcia gonna try and find a way to win. You know, it's gonna be a close fight. You know, every single fight with Danny Garcia has been close. Okay, even the losses he's had have been pretty close. So I would love to see. And remember, Danny Garcia is used to taking punches from guys much bigger and stronger than him. Jeff Horn didn't do that. You know, he fought Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is smaller than him. Yeah, he got a good thumping punch, and he got knocked down by Manny Pacquiao, punch drunk by him. But Sean Porter is not Jeff Horn. Sean Porter can take a full-blooded punch and keep coming at you. Okay, it's just one punch. You're not gonna knock him out with one punch. Okay, so I'm just saying, when you think about the kind and caliber of guys Terrence Crawford gonna be in the mix with, you got to ask yourself, can Terrence Crawford handle that competition? Just like how we were asking ourselves, could Danny Garcia handle these big boys? Okay, because these are big boys. These are not, you know, Errol Spence should be a middleweight. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want you to understand what I'm saying. He's basically a middleweight. You know, Sean Porter is a super middleweight. You know what I'm saying? That came down to welterweight. He can take a punch. You know what I mean? You know, Keith Thurman, he's a big, strong welterweight that could be probably a super welterweight, like Terrence Crawford. And these guys are not your typical kind of slow plodding fighters. They ain't the, you know, awkward kind of fighter like Jeff Horn going at one speed. You know, they're quick, they're fast, they're sharp. So I'm just saying, you may say Terrence Crawford is the most dynamic fighter at welterweight based on the competition he's faced. You know what I mean? He faced a certain level of competition, just like how GGG faced a certain level of competition. Once you step up in level of competition, when he started to face guys who really could really handle him, now he didn't look so sensational, right? You saw him knock out Vanes Martirosyan, but Vanes Martirosyan ain't no Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? So what happened in the end? He was running around the ring away from Canelo, right? They like to talk about running. Well, he was on the run. I saw him, you know, clear out from Canelo, start to spin to try and reset, and Canelo would just explode on him and start landing flurries on him. And so what happened to GGG at the end of the day? His face looked like he went through a meat grinder, right? His face looked like meat. He had to be wearing shades at the end of the fight because, you know, Canelo be, you know, touching up his face. You know what I'm saying? You see, level of competition. Now, you're saying he's the most dynamic. He's not the most dynamic. You can't say that. You can say he looks most sensational, but you cannot say he's the most dynamic because he hadn't faced nobody to show us that he is the most dynamic. Dynamic means I can alter my style. I can morph to face the elite level of competition. Jeff Horn ain't no elite level of competition. Come on, man. Come on, dude. You know that. He ain't. So Jeff Horn would beat Errol Spence? You think? Come on, let's talk about it. You know, everybody's saying he a big welterweight and all of that. Jeff Horn would beat Errol Spence then. Would he beat Sean Porter? Think about what I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to match him up ultimately, really, no, but I'm just saying, would he beat Danny Garcia? Think about what I'm saying. Everybody thought it was an upset when he beat Manny Pacquiao. Timothy Bradley can say all he wants to say about Jeff Horn and stuff, but you have to pay attention to what the guy's resume is and what he's really doing. So you can't call a guy, he beats a guy who's a welterweight who had a title. But is he a true champion? Has he been a champion? Has he regained his title? Has he been a champion for a while? And has he faced some of the elite fighters in this division? Who has Jeff Horn faced? Manny Pacquiao? Okay. Who else? Okay. So you can't call Jeff Horn something. Whereas the guys I just mentioned, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, they faced a plethora of elite welterweights. They've proven themselves. Hop says, not many should be called elite. It's an overused word, unfortunately. Exactly, my brother. Christopher Tone, what up, man? Who you been? How have I been? But in the beginning of this video, I talked about what I've been doing and where I've been. Hop says Pacquiao deserved the decision versus Horn anyway. I wouldn't say Pacquiao deserved the decision, but I knew Pacquiao hurt Horn in the 9th round. Horn showed some courage to get back into his game plan. But just because you have a game plan for a particular fighter that you may have studied for many, many years doesn't make you elite. It just means you figured out that particular fighter. To be an elite fighter, you must be able to beat elite fighters or at least be competitive with them fight after fight after fight. That shows you're elite. There's a difference between finding out a game plan and being able to beat somebody and making a name off of a big name fighter than being elite. Elite means you repeat the performance, the high level performance again and again and again. And when he faced, when Horn faced, what's his name? When Horn faced Terrence Crawford, he folded, right? They handed in the towel. His corner handed in the towel. He ain't elite. Elite means you can repeat that performance, high level, whether you win, lose, or draw. You repeat that high level performance again and again and again, showing you at a high level in boxing. Horn's not that. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. But he can prove that he's elite by winning again and continuing to win. That's like saying Jesse Vargas is an elite fighter. He's not an elite fighter. Okay? He's not. But he's a damn good fighter. I'm not saying Horn's not a damn good fighter and for what he did. But And for his achievement, he overachieved, but he's not elite. Elite means you competitive every time and time again at the highest level. Okay? Holm was not competitive with Terrence Crawford. Now, if Terrence Crawford goes in and he faces, they're talking about Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. That's cool. That's nice to sound. But how do I know he's ready for Errol Spence? Yes, he has a lot of tools in his toolkit. But how do I know he's ready for Errol Spence? Now, he has the confidence to believe he's ready. But that doesn't mean he's ready. Confidence is not everything. And maybe we have yet to see a lot more from Terrence Crawford. But at the present moment, the other fighters have proven themselves time and time again. Sean Porter's had fight after fight after fight that proves he's elite. You get what I'm saying? You know, Errol Spence has started to prove that he's elite by beating the best in his division and then doing it again and again and again. Okay, Kell Brook was the best in the division when Errol Spence beat him. Okay, and that's just what it was. But Kell Brook showed he was elite by going up 2 weight classes and fighting GGG. And of course, Kell Brook, he got beaten because of his eye, but nonetheless. Christopher Thomas says, I tried to message you some 6 months ago on this boxing topic you used to talk about. Still waiting for a reply. Love, I don't even know what you're talking about, man, but we could talk about it in the chat. Nicholas Mapp says, all champions at welterweight at this moment are building their careers. Nobody's resume is that deep. Yeah? Yeah? All right, let's see. Let's see if you're right. I'm going to just come from the facts, okay? Let's go from the facts. No one's resume is that deep, huh? Let's see. Let's see if you're right. Let's start off with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, career welterweight, faced Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, who was the unified junior welterweight champion of the world. He faced Sean Porter, which was the IBF welterweight champion of the world. He faced Luis Collazo, who was a former WBA welterweight champion of the world. He faced Robert Guerrero, who was former lightweight world champion, as well as former super featherweight world champion, which was also former inline first contender who faced Floyd Mayweather and many other great fighters. Okay, that's his resume. That's not deep, really. That's 4 world champions. Okay, let's go. That was Keith Thurman. Let's look at Danny Garcia. In the short little stint that he's been at welterweight, he's faced Sean Porter. We already know, former world champion. Brandon Rios knocked him out. He was a lightweight world champion. Keith Thurman, who at the time was the WBA super welterweight champion of the world. He was the WBC. Okay. He also faced Robert Guerrero. He also faced former world champion Paulie Malignaggi. He also faced world champion Lamont Peterson. All of this he did at welterweight. Not deep enough for you? Let's keep it moving. And he just went up to welterweight, okay? Danny Garcia's resume is ridiculous, okay? But let's just keep it moving. Let's look at Sean Porter. You're saying their resume is not deep. Okay, let's see. Sean Porter. He just recently won the vacant world WBC world title from Danny Garcia, okay? Had a tough fight with Adrian Granados. Faced Andre Berto, former 2-time world champion, knocked him out. Faced Keith Thurman, lost to him for the World Boxing Association welterweight title, the WBA. Faced Adrian Broner at welterweight, beat him, okay? Faced Kell Brook, lost to Kell Brook, losing his IBF world welterweight title. Faced former IBF world champion Paulie Malignaggi and beat him. And also faced IBF world champion Devin Alexander and beat him. As well as beat Julio Diaz for the NABO welterweight champion, who was also a former lightweight, I think it is, or super featherweight world champion, as well as lightweight world champion. I think it's two world champions. Okay, this was his rematch with Julio Diaz at welterweight. Not deep enough for you? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I don't know. Was that deep enough for you? What do you think? It's deep enough? You tell me. Let's look at Kell Brook. Kell Brook is no longer at welterweight, though, so let's forget him. Errol Spence Jr. Okay? I mean, hold on. Let's go back. Let's look at Kell Brook's resume. Tell me if it's deep enough for you. All right? Faced Sean Porter to win the IBF World Welterweight Championship of the world. He then went on to face Gennady Golovkin at middleweight. Okay? He was performing pretty good, but he got knocked out in the 4th round. Then he goes back to face Errol Spence Jr. for the IBF World Welterweight Champion. It was his mandatory, and he got knocked out by him. Actually, he was retired, hurt. The corner threw in the towel because of his eye. All right, got knocked down twice though. I had a good fight with Errol Spence until his eye got damaged. Right, he had a damaged eye, so it is what it is. Got damaged the next eye too. All right, that's Kell Brook. And he was the #1 welterweight in the world, actually. Let's look at Errol Spence Jr. Tell me if it's not deep enough for you, because I'm just curious, man. I'm curious what you guys think is deep. All right, because you guys, man, I don't know, man. All right, so after he beat Kell Brook and knocked him out, he then faced Lamont Peterson, who was the I think he was the WBA regular champion. Okay, welterweight champion, Lamont Peterson, and he retired him. Okay, so he has 2 world champions on this list, which would be Lamont Peterson and Kell Brook. Okay, that's all he got, and he got another stay busy fight. All right, so he's the least deep of all of them we just talked about. Okay, so at the end of the day, I gotta say to you guys, welterweight division, those guys are pretty deep. Okay, compared to Terrence Crawford ain't do nothing. So far, he got a WBO title against a guy who beat Manny Pacquiao, and credit to him for beating Manny Pacquiao and overachieving there. But at the end of the day, he did nothing else. Okay, so you can't give Terrence Crawford the credit yet. But if he jumps in the mix with these bad boys, absolutely you can give him the credit, right? Because almost all of them have deeper resumes than he does at welterweight. Okay, it's just what it is. So Nicholas Mapp, that's what I got to say. By that division, no heavyweight is currently elite then, which I probably would agree with. If Wilder beats Fury and then Joshua, I call him elite. So Wilder beats Stavern, then knocks out Stavern. Wilder faces Mr. Boogeyman from Cuba, but he's not elite. Remember, I said elite is being able to put on a high-level performance fight after fight at the highest level. If you're a world champion, that's the highest level. If the contender, the #1 contender faces you and you're able to put on a great performance against him, especially the #1 contender is a boogeyman in the division, nobody want to fight them. You can't say that and you go and you knock them out. I mean, that's a performance, that's an elite performance. Jeff Horn is not that, right? He beat Manny Pacquiao, but after that, did he put on an elite performance against Terrence Crawford? No. He did not. So you cannot call him elite. However, Terrence Crawford you can call elite because Terrence Crawford continuously, fight after fight, puts on a high-level performance. That makes sense? It's very simple, actually. So no, Deontay Wilder has put on elite performance after elite performance, showing he is elite. Not because he's undefeated, because he continuously beats the competition put in front of him, and some of that competition put in front of him is pretty high level. Same thing with Anthony Joshua, who beat Vladimir Klitschko, and a number of other people who are pretty high level. They're not necessarily elite, but they're pretty high level. So if you look at Deontay Wilder, for example, which you cannot compare Wilder and Joshua. Well, Joshua, you can compare Joshua to one of these welterweights, okay? Because these welterweights got deep resumes. They got deeper resumes than Wilder and any other world champion out there. Like, I don't know. Who else is there? I can't say necessarily for Joshua. Well, most of them have deeper resumes than even Joshua, okay? And Anthony Joshua's resume is a lot deeper, okay? And this is what we got with Anthony Joshua, man. Okay, he has a pretty deep resume. All right. Again, this is not something up for debate, folks. This is just common sense. He's gonna be facing Alexander Povetkin, who's I think #1 contender or something like that. Yeah, he's been in doping, but he faced world champion Joseph Parker. Okay. He also faced Vladimir Klitschko. He faced undefeated Dominic Brazil. Not that that matters, but he faced world champion Charles Martin. Okay. So you have to pay attention to these names. Charles Martin was a world champion. Yes, he may not have been an elite world champion, but he was a world champion. And the point is, Joshua proves he's elite because he consistently is at a high level. So when he stops Charles Martin, that's the first start that says, okay, he has potential. He goes on to defend a couple times, and he faces Vladimir Klitschko for unification, and he beats Klitschko, which is an established name. So not only does he beat a world champion on his resume, but he also beats an established name on his resume. That starts to solidify him as elite because it's saying this guy's consistently putting on a high performance, and now he's gone with a high performance person, and he's performed better than they do. Then he goes on, he ain't done. He beats Joseph Parker after that, who was also a world champion, a young world champion, but nonetheless a world champion. So he's beaten 3 world champions or former world champions and consistently performed. So that makes his resume deep. And now he's going to go and face Alexander Povetkin, who everybody been ducking. And now let's go back to Deontay Wilder to show you why Wilder is considered elite. Even though his elite status is a little bit different, okay, but still he's performing consistently. That's the point behind it. So he faced his last opponent was Luis Ortiz this year, and he knocked him out. This was an avoided fighter, undefeated Cuban fighter, which was supposed to face Anthony Joshua. He was the #1 contender for him. He was doping, of course, and he still faced him. Okay, and you have to give him credit for that. That's the highest level. The other highest level guy that he faced, really, there's only 2 of them actually, is Bermane Stiverne. The first time he won his title from Bermane Stiverne, which was the WBC world title, gave him a rematch and stopped him. These are the only 2 people. Ortiz and Stiverne are not really necessarily elite fighters, but the point is they are either #1 contenders who are avoided or they were world champion. Okay, so of all of the people we just spoke about, Deontay Wilder is probably the least strong. He's more like in Terence Crawford's category, somewhat. Okay, a little bit better than Terence Crawford, because I wouldn't say Jeff Horn was a better fighter than Bermane Stiverne, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Hop says, I call him Lomachenko elite, Terence Crawford, but at his previous weight division, Ward was elite. Usyk is knocking on the door of elite, maybe Mikey Garcia, maybe Santa Cruz. No, again, you guys are missing the boat. I never said Terence Crawford was not elite. I'm talking about Jeff Horn. What part of that do you not understand? You guys seem to always miss the boat on things. When we're talking about elite fighters, we're not saying Terence Crawford's not elite. We know he's elite. He's not proven at welterweight. That's what I'm saying, compared to the other guys who are facing competition. So again, Hop, you're speaking about elite fighters. Yes, of course, Terence Crawford is an elite fighter. We already know that. Watch his resume throughout the different divisions. Just like Danny Garcia is an elite fighter. You just look at his resume throughout they have a resume. What I'm saying is, at welterweight, his resume doesn't look that great. But people are saying he's such a dynamic fighter. You can't say that. You have to wait for him to. Okay, people would say that, for instance, GGG is a dynamic fighter. But against certain competition, he doesn't look that dynamic. He looks sort of one-dimensional. And until Terence Crawford faces these bad boys in welterweight, we see if he is as dimensional as you say he is, dynamic as you say he is. Because the competition from here on in for him, if he intends to jump into the ring, is going to be quantums higher than what he has faced. And if he says the best competition he has ever faced is Yuriorkis Gamboa, who is a smaller guy than him, he's in for a shocker when he starts to face these welterweights. Okay? Because they're way better than Yuriorkis Gamboa. Okay, just way better than him. And they ain't small guys. They're all bigger than him. So if you think about it that way, you begin to realize, and they're faster than him. Okay, so it's not, these welterweights are sharks. You're not going to knock out these welterweights. They're not going to slip up like a B-level opponent. Okay, and they're not going to be under-conditioned for what they have to face. So he thinks he's just going to roll in there in the welterweight division and knock out a Danny Garcia or knock out a Errol Spence Jr. or, you know, stop or outpoint these guys. He's going to have another thing coming because the skill sets that these guys have is totally different. And he's confident, and that's cool, and all that's well and good. You can talk the talk, but at the end of the day, these guys are vicious, okay? The welterweight division is a totally different division where you got bigger guys coming down in weight to fight at welterweight, okay? That's what's going on. and they've been there for a while. So if he thinks he's just going to roll in there and think skills is going to pay the bill, it doesn't just work like that. He ain't a Floyd Mayweather, okay? He don't have that kind of experience, you know, but he's going to get there, all right? And he has certain skills that can make it possible, but it don't mean it's going to be possible, and it's not going to be easy, okay? This is not a division you play around with, all right? These guys are sharks. They all coming to win. They all are thirsty. They're all hungry, all right? So that's all I'm saying. His competition has not been at that level. He ain't seen nobody like that in this division. He's going to have to step up his game to face those guys, you know? So I'm just saying. So you can understand what I'm saying. Anyone who thinks Horn is or was elite is bunkers. Yeah, he's not elite. He's not elite. What it takes to be elite is a totally different story. When Wilder is going to fight Fury and will most likely beat him. I don't know. I don't know when he's going to fight Fury. Wilder knocks out Joshua. I don't know. I can't say. Joshua has some skill, man. He has some skill. Don't take Joshua for granted. It'll be a good fight, though. Wilder versus Joshua will be a good fight. What you need. Here's the difference between you and me, respectively. For me, in order to be called elite, you need to beat competition than you are citing, and more than once or twice. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. See, if you have to beat it more than once or twice, I don't know what you're talking about, first of all. There's a lot of things. First of all, if you comprehensively beat a guy, you don't need to go back and beat him again. So that's the first thing. The second thing is consistently beating competition is what makes you elite. That's what I said. So what is your point? You know, again, I said you have to consistently do it. You don't even have to beat them, but you have to be consistently at that level, which shows you are competitive with them. So even if you don't get the decision, it could have gone either way, that kind of thing. That's what makes Sean Porter elite. Because you don't know no fight that Sean Porter clearly lost against, unless you're talking about Kell Brook, and even then he was coming. He was coming. He was bringing it, right? He lost, but he was bringing it. Nicholas Mapp. What you need, Lol, I'm sorry, but the difference in our statement lie in the fact that my standards for elite fighter is higher than yours. Hop, champ or title holder doesn't equal elite to me. Exactly, I agree. Christopher Tom says, what you need, can I message now? Will you be using this channel? I always use this channel. You can actually leave your comments in the comment section below, or you can just talk to me right here in this chat. Just talk. Let's talk boxing, man. Nicholas Mapp, being dynamic and being elite are two different things. You can't say you're dynamic if you ain't faced competition to prove you're dynamic. Do you understand? Now, if you say he appears more dynamic than any of the fighters in welterweight, fine. You only saying he's dynamic because he got a knockout. That's why you're saying that. He ain't knocking out nobody else. When he steps up to the plate with them bad boys, he gonna realize what he in for. You cannot say that he's dynamic. Not that statement. Dynamic means versatile. Dynamic means explosive. We don't know that yet. That's a blank. You can say he appears that way. You can't say he is until he's faced the level of competition to prove that he is. So Sean Porter is elite in your opinion? Absolutely, he's elite. That goes without saying. And elite doesn't mean that you have all the skills. It means that you're consistently producing something at a high level. Elite, the word elite by definition means this. The choice or best of anything considered collectively as a group or class of persons. What does it mean by elite? The choice or best of anything considered collectively as a group or class of persons. So you're not telling me that Sean Porter is not one of the best welterweights out there? He's not. Is he not? He proved it, right? He's WBC champion. So he is one of the best welterweights out there. Him, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Terrence Crawford, and Keith Thurman. And if Kell Brook stays in welterweight, Kell Brook, they've proven that, right? That's what elite means, one of the best. I'd call Gervonta Davis dynamic, but not yet elite, just my opinion. Gervonta Davis, he's elite. I'll tell you why. It's very simple. Again, you have to know what that means. Gervonta Davis, right? I'll show you why. Okay, so let's look at who he fought, right? He won his title against Jose Pedraza. Jose Pedraza was an undefeated Puerto Rican fighter, I believe he is, from Puerto Rico. Yes. Pedraza was undefeated. He beat Raimundo Beltran just recently. He beat Jose Luis Rodriguez. He lost to Gervonta Davis, but he was he defended his title 4 times and was successful at it. So he was the IBF World Super Featherweight Champion. He beat Edna Cherry, who was a world champion himself, okay, before he faced Gervonta Davis. And he was supposed to beat Gervonta Davis because his skill set was better, okay? He also beat some other former world champions at super featherweight. So he proved himself as a world champion. It's not the same as Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn goes and beats Manny Pacquiao, wins the title, and then goes right after that and loses it. Now, in addition to that, after he was beaten by Gervonta Davis, okay, he goes back to beat Raimundo Beltran, who is a known lightweight fighter, not a champion. Same guy Terrence Crawford beat, showing that he has class. It's not like he fades off into the sunset and that's it for him. He comes back and shows, and not only that, he regains the WBO world. He gains the WBO world lightweight title. So he got back another world title after he lost to Gervonta Davis. So you cannot say that Gervonta Davis is not elite because he beat a very proven world champion in Jose Pedraza, very difficult champion who was undefeated at the time, and a world champion who proved himself to be world champion by regaining the championship, but this time at a high weight class. So you cannot say that Gervonta Davis is not elite. Now, he's dynamic as well, but we do not know how dynamic he is until you can't call him the most dynamic guy in super featherweight. That would be a ridiculous statement to say, seeing that at super featherweight, we have some really good fighters there, okay? Like, for instance, Lomachenko. Like, for instance, I believe Mikey Garcia. So you cannot call him the most dynamic, okay? Until he faces Mikey Garcia, or he faces Vasily Lomachenko, or he faces another world champion in that division and proves himself to be so weak, and he does it in spectacular style. You cannot call him the most dynamic, and shows variety of skill set. You cannot call him the most dynamic. He may be dynamic, but he ain't the most dynamic. That's why when you guys say Terrence Crawford is the most dynamic, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's not the most dynamic. How you can say that? He didn't face the toughest competition and look sensational on them. So you can't say that. You did? So I'm just coming from facts. I don't know about you guys, but I use factual information to relay what I'm saying. I don't know. You guys just kind of come out of ideas. You just speak your mind, which is cool. That's cool too. Tyson Fury is one of the best heavyweights out there, but not elite in my opinion. Oh no, he's elite. You cannot say that. He beat Vladimir Klitschko. He beat some of the top guys in the division. He didn't do that by chance. Somehow, some way, he did it, and he showed that he has some boxing skill. And for a tall guy like that, a big tall guy, oh yeah, he's elite. You have to give these people their props, man. You got to, and yes, he beat he beat Vladimir Klitschko, but that's not the only person he beat. He proved himself time and time again. Let me show you. He wasn't a world champion, but he proved himself. So when you look at Tyson Fury again, see, this is the thing with people, man. So it's so tough to talk to people about boxing because people give their opinions, not necessarily they're trying to think about what they're saying. Look at what this guy faced, okay? Look at the guys he faced. He faced Derek Chisora, right? He faced Derek Chisora for the WBO International Heavyweight title. He beat Derek Chisora. You got to give the guy credit for that, okay? He beat Derek Chisora. Now, a lot of other people beat Derek Chisora, and then he came after that, a fight later, and he beat 2 fights later, and he beat Vladimir Klitschko, who was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, upsetting him. Now, you could say he built his rep on Vladimir Klitschko, but he showed that he could beat somebody at a higher level like Derek Chisora, right? So he beat Derek Chisora first, and he retired him, by the way, and then he beat Vladimir Klitschko. So yes, he has to be at the highest level because he consistently beat people at the highest level. Even though there's only 2 of them, he did it at heavyweight. Now, you can't say that for Terrence Crawford. The only guy he beat at welterweight is Jeff Horn. I mean, he's no, sorry. Terrence Crawford is elite. But Jeff Horn, you can't say that about Jeff Horn, because the only elite guy he faced at top level or top contender or top anything was Manny Pacquiao. He got a break. That's what I call it. He got a break. He ain't fought nobody other than Manny Pacquiao. You can't say that for Tyson Fury. He proved himself, right? So I wouldn't say that. Of course, Tyson Fury is elite. Of course he is. He's not just a one-trick pony, all right? And you can see it in his career. It's not a Jeff Horn resume. It's not just done and gone kind of guys. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you. So you have to think about those things. When you think about the guy's career, how they came up, you can't rule out Tyson Fury. You can't. All right. So if he's one of the best heavyweights out there, Hop, then he is elite. Because if you say he's one of the best, elite means one of the best. Nicholas Mapp says, it is stated Terrence Crawford is the most dynamic welterweight, meaning versatile. You can't say that. That's what I'm trying to say. You got to watch it, what he does at the highest level. Didn't GGG look like a most versatile kind of guy? He was just beating up everybody. That's one thing at one level. Are you versatile at the higher levels? We will know if you truly are versatile. Just because you switch in stances don't mean you versatile. You got to be effective with it. You dig what I'm saying? Is he effective? Then just because you switch stances, that doesn't make you most versatile. Another guy, he may be able to change levels. He may be able to come inside and fight on the inside. Does Terrence Crawford can fight a little bit on the inside? He can fight a little bit on the outside, right? I've never really seen him fight at mid-range that much. He tried to keep his jab on the outside and he come on the inside. But the point is that at the end of the day, we got to see him match up with the very best to know if he really is versatile, to know if he's the most dynamic welterweight. He ain't the most dynamic welterweight. Just because you switch stance don't make you the most dynamic welterweight. Most dynamic means you can do what you can change it up to whatever the situation is. And so far, he has not been pushed to change it up to what the situation is at welterweight. He's only faced Jeff Horn. So you guys can't say that. You can't say that. You can't be making these superlatives off of one fight at one division. Hop says, WON, what you need. I guess it comes down to definition, as Nicholas said above. You must have quite a few elite fighters in the game, whereas I only have one. I have a few. Cheers. Again, elite means the best in your division. And you prove you are the best, right? You have to do it repetitively to show you the best. You may not win all your fights, but if your fights are extremely competitive and you show that you belong in the ring with the top guys, then you are a top guy. It's that simple. Christopher Tom, it's regarding your video of Floyd's IV scandal and USADA and a couple of points I felt you didn't address. That some of these dudes tried to insinuate that Floyd was cheating. Oh, cool, cool. Again, it's real simple. If Floyd was cheating, right? If Floyd was cheating to face Manny Pacquiao, why is it he was fighting so cautiously? And if he was cheating, why did he need to fight so cautiously against Manny Pacquiao? Right? He ain't cheating. It's like you know what's the interesting thing, Christopher Tom? Remember they were saying that Canelo cheated to face Gennady Golovkin? Oh, he eat tainted meat and stuff. Well, Vada was on his butt 24/7. And look what Canelo did. He backed GGG up for that. He said, I'm not going to give you a break. You're not going to take a step forward. He was worse than he was in the last fight. He was more mean than he was in the last fight. So if Canelo was eating tainted meat, then Vada should find it in his samples, right? They should find tainted meat. Canelo was clean, and y'all know he was clean. Similarly with Floyd. These sore losers need to say that Floyd was cheating. Why? Why do they have to say he's cheating? Because they know, guys. They know that he beat Manny Pacquiao fair and square, so they know other way. And guess what? I use multivitamins today. I use it in natural foods. You can use the multivitamin, put it in IV. It helps your body for trauma. Like if you're going to do chemotherapy, man, you need to boost up with multivitamins, vitamins A, C, E. And then you have to use B6. You got to use some magnesium and you got to use some potassium. You got to boost up your body to boost up your immune system. That's all Floyd did. And actually, somebody's going to give my mom something because she got a bruise over her eye to treat her eye to it's again, naturopathic stuff. So when they're saying that Floyd cheated, which I know he did not do, everybody knows he didn't do. just to try and make a case for Manny Pacquiao losing the fight, whereas Manny Pacquiao is lying about his arm. Manny Pacquiao is the guy that wanted to take certain drugs to enhance his performance. That's the real cheat. I mean, what do you got to say, Christopher Tom? I mean, it's pretty clear Floyd did not cheat in that fight. But, you know, wicked people try to do things to deface his name because they know that in the ring, nobody beats him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And Canelo's a clean fighter, and everybody knows that. Well, clearly now everybody knows that because he beat up GGG, mashed up his face, and also backed him up. He didn't even give him a break. He was like, I'm coming for you, ninja. Oh, you were saying all that nonsense? I'm going to beat you up. And that's what happened. Nicholas Mapp, being a very versatile fighter does not mean you're the best. I can't believe you don't get it yet. Dude, but he's not the best versatile fighter. You can't say that. If you're the best versatile fighter, dude, then it would mean you would beat the best. That's why you're the best versatile fighter. It's simple. Christopher Tom, you seem knowledge on that subject, so I wanted to know your opinion. I already told you, man. Christopher Mott, you misconstrue my initial statement, and your standards for elite are still lower than mine. My card for both GGG Canelo fights, 115, 113, Golovkin. If I can understand a draw or even a close Alvarez win, since many rounds were close second fight. Ain't no close rounds there, man. Come on. You smoking, man. Sorry about that, but you smoking something, respectfully speaking. All right. This fight was not close. All right. I watched it. I just watched the fight. Okay. It wasn't close. All right. 115, 113 by those two judges. They were just accommodating GGG because of the crowd. The crowd was reigning for everything that GGG said. You know what I'm saying? Ajax says, how GGG didn't do anything. He's basic as F. Yeah, I mean, he not basic. I mean, he got little tricks up his sleeve and stuff. Don't get it twisted. And he tried to counterpunch Canelo too. But Canelo was having his way with him. The difference between what you saw in the first fight is Canelo was taking breaks off the ropes and GG was missing like crazy, okay? His jab was the only thing that was landing in the first fight. In the second fight, Canelo missed some, but he was so effective with his aggression. That's why GGG had to back up. Those body punches pushed GGG back. He didn't want nothing to do with them body shots. And Canelo was raining those body shots on. That's the difference between GGG and Canelo. GGG goes head hunting. Canelo goes body working. That's the difference. Christopher Thomas says, I had Alvarez winning 7-5, 8-4. Yeah, I could see that. Even though I didn't even see a round. I saw one round given to GG. I think it was round 9 or round 10. So I would have had it real lopsided. It would have been 11-1 or something like that. It would have been very, very, very lopsided. AJ ATX says, overrated boxer. Yes, sir. Nicholas Matt, how did you score the GGG Canelo 2 fight? What you need? I just told you. 11-1 is what I see in my first impression. I only got GGG winning 1, maybe 2 rounds. Hop, if you don't think Canelo GGG was close, I'm sorry, but I have to question your objectivity. I just watched the fight without sound. Maybe because the commentators were talking and you so hype up on GGG, you thought it was close. I didn't see a close fight. AJ ATX, GGG has a solid jab, but that's it. He had a decent jab. I'm going to give him that. He had a decent jab, but it wasn't as effective as people were making it sound. Canelo was blocking a lot of those jabs. He was blocking it. He was riding them. Look at Canelo's face. If GGG had a good, solid jab, Canelo's face would look like GGG's face that went through a meat grinder, okay? So that should tell you Canelo had the more effective jab. He's a shorter guy. He's a stockier guy. He, all of that. And he manages to get his jab in. Come on, man. Folks, man. Come on, man. Make this make sense. Like Floyd would say, make this make sense. Make this make sense. How a shorter dude, a smaller dude than you, he's stockier than you, he's shorter than you. How come physically he's smaller than you? How he getting his jab in? I'm busting up your face like that. Come on now. Make this make sense. Christopher Tom, one swing round, looking at the rematch again. I have 116, 112 Alvarez. All right, cool. What's the discussion between Stephen A. Smith? Dude, Stephen A. Smith don't know nothing about boxing, and Max Kellerman don't know nothing either. And RJJ, he's still longing to get in the ring and get knocked out again. The commentators are definitely more pro Canelo, as was the crowd. Which commentators? For what channel? What boxing channel? Not HBO. AJATX, exactly. Canelo is countering so many rights. AGX, Canelo was digging the body, walking him down. Why do you think Canelo was walking him down? You think GGG was trying to give ground because he likes giving ground? He tried in the 11th round to walk Canelo down. Canelo was not having it. He was not having it. When did GGG walk Canelo down in the fight? I can tell you Canelo walked down GGG in the first fight. He walked him down a couple times. When did GGG walk down Canelo in this fight? I'll tell you when. It was either the 9th or 10th round. That was it. And I think piece of the 12th round. And y'all gonna give GGG the 12th round because he pushed Canelo back a little bit? Come on, man. Y'all being biased, man. Y'all not thinking, man. Y'all not thinking boxing. Nicholas Mapp, I have the fight 8 rounds to 4 in favor of Canelo, but I need to give the fight another viewing. You better. And turn the volume off or go get on YouTube. There's a video where they ain't got no commentators talking, because the commentators, they'll give you a wrong view of everything. Don't listen to them, man. Just watch the fight. Nicholas Mapp, HBO, listen to Kellerman. Listen to Kellerman, get screwed over. This was not a close fight. Christopher Tom, I've seen dudes say many things like Floyd had paid USADA. You can't pay USADA, man. Anybody saying that nonsense, they don't know how USADA runs, man. You can't pay USADA any money. You don't pay USADA. You pay USADA to use the service, yes, but you can't bribe USADA. That's a lie. For them not to report TP Anderson, I want to know if there's any truth to that statement. There's no truth to that statement, man. That's stupid, man. Nicholas Mapp, I can see Canelo having a decent middleweight championship reign. We'll see. We got Charlos. You know, we'll see what happens with Saunders and Demetrius Andrade. Maybe Canelo will face up with Andrade and the Charlos. That would be cool. There's some guys that was in the division below him. So it should be good. If they want a rematch, the rematch is going to look worse. Canelo going to knock out Triple G in the rematch. You know, he going to knock him out. And end the whole discussion. He clearly beat Triple G. In the 11th round, he raised his arm as he was going back to the corner. He knew he won the fight. I mean, he did what he wanted with Triple G. I mean, I don't know what you guys were watching, man. I don't know. Hop, I scored it carefully round by round. First half of the fight, Canelo. Second half of the fight, edge to Golovkin. Man, you in delusion land, bro. Sorry about that, but you in delusion land. Okay? Canelo was more relaxed in the second half of the fight. He was doing whatever he felt like doing. He kept on beating Triple G in every chess match that went down. He almost had the last punch in every single little joust that they did. That's why Triple G kept on backing up. And his only saving grace he was trying to use was his jab. And eventually his jab Canelo wasn't even respecting his jab at a certain point. He wasn't even respecting the jab. He was walking through the jab. He was walking him down. He was taking the jab and walking through it and landing body punches. You got to go back and watch the fight, man. Y'all ain't watching no fight. I don't know what y'all was watching. Nicholas Mapp, I don't know about Jermell Charlo. That should be cool, man. That should be cool. I would love to see Charlo versus Canelo, man. I would love to see that. I just think Canelo got the edge on Charlo, but I would love to see it, though. And Demetrius Andrade, he's a southpaw and all of that, but I don't think he can beat Canelo. Canelo got too much experience for them guys. Too much. He's too strong. He's too big and he's too strong. Now he's full middleweight. That's why GGG had to back off. Canelo can take his punch easy. You know, I don't know if you are or are not open to differing opinions. If you just insult those who disagree, which is most on Albert GG, I don't want to bother you. Okay, it's your opinion again. And if you feel I'm insulting you, too bad. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm giving you my opinion on your opinion. And I'm telling you, it's boxing. Watch it. That's all I'm saying. You guys get caught up in things. You get caught up in stuff. You get caught up in what you want to see. I'm not like that. I'm watching, okay, whose fight? Who fought whose fight? Who fought whose fight? Hop. That's tell you the winner right there. Who was fighting whose fight? Was it Triple G fighting the fight he usually fight? Or was it Canelo fighting the fight that he likes to fight? That tell you the winner right there. And ask yourself that for each round. The first fight, who was fighting whose fight? If you say Triple G was fighting his fight, then doesn't Triple G's fight end in knockouts? Why didn't Triple G knock out Canelo? Why wasn't he connecting on Canelo? Now you look at the second fight. That's how you cut off a ring. Canelo was cutting off Triple G when he wanted to. Then when Triple G circled out and tried to go to the center of the ring, Canelo would keep on walking him down, cutting him off. Then he beat him up. Then he walk him down again, cut him off, beat him up. That's how you cut off a ring. Canelo showed you how to walk down an opponent, whereas Triple G failed to show you that in the first fight. This is simple. This is simple boxing 101. But because Canelo didn't knock out Triple G, you see, Triple G needed to get his senses severed from his consciousness for you guys to believe that, because you guys so diehard thinking Triple G's all that. You can't see what's in front of you. Guess what I mean? Sure, no problem. Hold on a second, folks. I got to come back. My mom's calling, and she takes precedence over every discussion. All right. Hi guys. Had to step away from my mom, like I said before. She's doing much better, and I gotta wrap it up. But it was nice talking to you guys, man. It's nice talking to each of you guys, Hop and Nicholas Map, and we're just debating. So guys, don't take it personally. I'm not trying to like hate on you guys. Just very passionate about what I talk about, so don't feel how about it, right? It's just a discussion. Um, but yeah. Um, AJ ATX says, "Don't forget Canelo's left hooks made GGG look embarrassed." What are you guys watching? That's what I thought. I thought he caught him with the left hook. I mean, GGG did catch him once or twice with a little left hook over the guard when he was thing, and Canelo watched it. But um, I just thought Canelo was just way better in every single way and consistently better. Christopher Tom says, "No way Golovkin won the 12th round. He started well and ended well, but Canelo dominated the entire middle portion of the round." I thought Canelo beat him up, man, and pushed him all around the ring. That's what I thought. And yes, I do believe GGG did look pretty good in the beginning, but of the round. But nah, Canelo had his way. He took back the momentum immediately. That's not how you score boxing, and that doesn't tell you the winner. Yes, it does. It tells you whose fight. It's called ring generalship. That's part of the criteria. Whose fight are you fighting? The second thing is clean, effective punching. And then the third thing is defense. Okay. That's what it is. I mean, I don't know. Hop. I thought the 12th round was extremely close. Okay. Nicholas Mapp. If Canelo can take Jamel's power like he did against GGG, I can't see Jamel winning a decision. I think Canelo's just a lot more craftier than you guys give him credit for. That's what I think. I think for a shorter guy like that, a smaller guy like that, to be pushing back a bigger guy and landing those kind of combinations of power shots on him, on body shots, and out jabbing him sometimes. I mean, to me, it just shows how much better he is than most of the competition out there, you know. And I would love to see him go up against Danny Jacobs, and I would like to see how Danny Jacobs would fare against Canelo. You know, that's how I think about it. I gotta go also, y'all. Have a great day. Enjoy the discussion. Yeah, pop later, man. Christopher Tom, in the 12th round, Canelo was winning every exchange like 3-1 punches at worst. It was 1-1. Canelo would at least answer with a hard body shot. I don't know with respectable dudes like Al Bernstein and Kev. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Kevin Ayala kept insisting that Golovkin was winning the 12th. I don't know what they were watching, man. I just don't know what they were watching. I don't know. Kristen, I like speaking with you, what you need. At least you explain your position instead of being dismissive. Respect. Yeah, I don't know, man. Different people have different opinions and different ways of looking at things. But I mean, from a boxing perspective, from what I saw, I mean, I was looking at the Mayweather boxing gym, what they thought. And again, most people thought the same thing I thought, that Canelo won that fight. And some people said it was a close fight. I didn't see it as a close fight because everything the GGG may have threw, Canelo kept on answering him with. He may not have always landed in his counter, but he always countered GGG. I can't say the same for GGG. He would sometimes pull back and reset after Canelo would land something really significant. And that showed that Canelo was actually landing the more effective blows on him than he was on Canelo. He just happened to be a strong guy, but it's not, you don't win points for being tough. And I think GGG knew he lost that fight. He knew, because I never really saw him celebrate winning the fight. So, and Canelo was celebrating since the 11th round that he won. So that's just my personal opinion. Um, I don't know. So, anyways, and that's all I got to say about that for boxing. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and keep on spreading light and love around you. I could only tell you what my opinion of the fight was. I wouldn't try and tell you that. Um, that's my opinion. You don't have to share my opinion, mind you. You don't have to share my opinion, but I would be very strong on my opinion. That's all. I'm just being strong with my opinion. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're wrong and I'm right. I'm just being strong with my opinion. That's all. Nicholas Map says, "What you need? You should come on the Smoke City Mobcast every now and then." What is that? What's the Smoke City Mobcast? Christopher Tom says, "Take it easy. What you need? Take it easy, man. And God is good, man. God is very, very good. So I'm happy. You know what I mean? Yeah." All right. Well, shout out to Christopher Tom, Nicholas Map, Hop, uh, AJATX. Who else we got here? That's everybody. I think that's everybody. I hope I didn't miss out anybody else who was on this stream. Tommy Temper, of course. I got to talk to you about Tommy Temper. Thank you so much for everything you were saying there, Tommy Temper. Your support. They literally donate. You can always donate to this channel. You can get me via Western Union or MoneyGram. And to be able to send the money, you can either comment to me in the comment section. I don't think the messaging works for here, but if it does, I'll try and get to you guys. But I think the message is not working now. And you guys can tell me what you think, as well as if you want to, you can send your donations to my channel. I'm also found on Facebook. I'm Christ I Am Disciple on Facebook, so you can check that out. Or Anson Phillip on Facebook. You can check me out there. Guys, I hope you guys have a great one. Have a blessed day.